On. Great
Okay.
to see you. It's
It's like
been
to
a
see you
while.
in ages. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm really excited to be here and talk with you about this new tool in AI, Protege. I'm really intrigued about the idea of having AI involved with coaching. Tell me a little bit more, if you would.
Well, you remember that we were developing Protege 1.0, or maybe it was 0.5, I'm not sure, a few months ago, because I got talking to other coaches who were talking about how we're going to use AI in coaching. And the general theme has been that people want to kind of recreate themselves in a coaching mode so that people can coach with them anytime. And I understand that desire, but my feeling all along has been I don't want to take the human out of coaching. I don't want to take the humanity out of coaching. And at the same time, I can see value in having a trained tool to be able to work with, particularly between live sessions. People can't necessarily have a coaching conversation with their coach every day, but they might have things that pop up where they can use the coaching assistant to move things along and make more progress. So I got really intrigued by this idea of having a coaching assistant that clients can use between sessions that's trained by me, and built with my kind of process in mind. But there's no claim it's me. It doesn't look like me. It's not going to sound like me. Um, Although some people have said that it sounds more like me than I sound like me, which that's very confusing. Other people have said, "Oh, I can hear you talking when even though it right now it doesn't have a
It's in
voice."
here, it's in your ear. Yeah.
Yeah, they can hear me whispering, kind of thing. Um, and so we're developing this thing, and what I really really want is to have more people, now that we're on this next phase, because we changed platform, we changed the partners that we're working with. I'd love for people to come and play with it and give us feedback, because you know me well enough to know that I like us to build things in community. I certainly don't know everything about AI, and I don't know everything about coaching, but together I think we can build something that could be really really useful and make coaching more accessible to people. Um, and we want to do it in a way that is ethical, so we're really focused, we and the people I'm partnered with, TechBridge Unlimited. We're very focused on, let's do this ethically. Let's not put anything in that can make people feel unsafe or confuse them, or try and make it look like one thing when really it's another. And in order to make sure we're doing that properly, we need other people's help, because we're myopic, right? So I'm really excited to get, it could be 10 people, maybe 20, to join us in doing the testing. They'll have lifetime access to the tool without ever having to pay for it in exchange. We do ask that they give some feedback and stuff like that. But yeah, I would love people to get involved and help us to build this thing so that it becomes something we can all be proud of, and we can all know we contributed to. That it wasn't, like I say, me and one other person sitting there going, well, I think it should look like this.
Well, my first experience was, I will tell you, at first I was like, I was a little intimidated by it. And I posted it out a question. And, it's kind of funny, like a therapist, like a question answered with a question. But as I started to get into answering the questions that were being asked to me, I was like, wow, it really was making me think. And I love the idea that it anticipated my next line of thought. And with the responses that I actually, in the part of it, I started to feel like I was talking to a real person on the other end. It helped me to get through a question that I had about what I wanted to do in my next as I go into retirement, and how I want to use the skills that I have. And I was I was really impressed. So I was super excited to see that you were offering this again and trying to, to build and to get this system to learn. And the fact that you wanted to get 10 people, I thought, what a great way. With our chapter, the North Carolina Project Management chapter, we have project managers, business analysts, portfolio analysts. We have people in all different lines of who are dealing, with project management, and would probably really benefit from coaching. And this is,
Yeah.
I like you, I was first skeptical. I was like, no, this shouldn't take the place of a coach. But I think in person, but I think that it adds to the experience, and like you said, in between. So for me, I'm really looking forward to this next participation in taking it to the next phase. So tell us a little bit more about, what do I do to get set up to access Protégee and to give you that feedback?
So I will share with you a link. There's a landing page on my website that has all the information you need. There's a button to click to get signed up. We have full instructions on how to do it. A couple of people have already said that now all of that is in place. It's nice and simple. There's examples of what kind of things you might use as prompts. If you're sitting there going, well, I want to test this coach, but I'm really not sure what I might ask it. We've got some sample prompts. There's a couple of videos on there and some opportunities to sign up for some live sessions where we're going to talk more about it. So I will give you that link, and if you're happy to share it with your audience, that would be great. And I did just want to clarify that I'd love to have a group of people, 10 people test. I've noticed in the past that when I say things like that, people will assume that 10 people have already said yes, and so they don't sign up. Believe me, if we had 10,000, that would be great. And my provider would be like, what are you doing? But they know we need to stress test this thing, right? So if you've got if you're someone who's interested in any way to just see what it feels like, or maybe you're someone who hasn't really done anything with AI yet. Gallup came out, I think, about 3 weeks ago with a report that showed that the uptake of AI is much lower than we tend to think it is. Because if you're in a space where other people use AI, it can feel like everybody's using AI, right? But it's less than 25%, I think, of people at the time they did the survey were engaging AI in any way. So I was definitely a skeptic. I was definitely someone who said, no AI for me, we're not doing that, when it first came out. And I thanked some of my groups I'm a member of for challenging my thinking to at least try it before I dismissed it. But yeah, if you've been sitting there going, well, I'm not sure about this whole AI thing. We're not putting your data anywhere. It's only going to learn in order to interact with you more effectively. We're not using your data to train the coach itself. So you don't have to set anything up to make sure that data is not being shared. It's all part of the basic setup and everything. We are in test mode, so you can expect some hiccups and trip ups and things like that. But yeah, come and test it out. And believe me, I had people the first time around that we did it who said AI sucks and I would never use this as a coaching tool or as even as an assistant for coaching. So if that ends up being your perspective, if you try it and you go, this feels icky, tell me that too. I'm not looking for everybody to say this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So yes, so I will share that link. People can go and take a look at what's going on. Click on the link just to get signed up. We have full technical support from TechBridge Unlimited. They're going to do a little orientation in a couple of weeks in case anyone's got questions or they're struggling with how to use the tool. I'm always available. People can, book time with me if they want to speak to me one-on-one and, have some questions. And yeah, I appreciate any help we can get. And you're not just helping me and TechBridge Unlimited, you're helping us to build something that other people can feel really safe using and that it is ethical. And the more minds we have on that, the better product, the better product it's going to be. So.
Well, thank you, Ruth. I really appreciate this time. And in fact, while we were talking, I popped up the first page that comes up that gives some of the dates of what you're looking to be able to keep on a schedule, to get that feedback, to apply it. And I think it's, from a time frame perspective, people still have time to get involved.
Yes,
so
absolutely. We're aiming to complete this round of testing by the end of September. We have a few things lined up if people want to come and get more information, some live events and things that will be coming up between now and the end of August. So you don't have to wait for those, though. You can absolutely get signed up and get started. So yeah, we've got, probably, I guess, about 8 weeks, 7 or 8 weeks before this phase of testing is over. if this timing isn't good for you, but you'd love to be involved in the future, we will have other rounds of testing because we're going to build other agents. Right now, it's the basic coaching agent, but we're going to have ones that debrief certain assessments and things like that. So there'll be other rounds of testing as we build this out. But I really appreciate anyone's help that's willing to give it. And as I say, particularly because I am a, let's figure this out together person and not a, I know how to do it. Even the book I wrote in 2024 had lots of quotes from coaching clients and coaches, giving their perspective on things. So that's how I love to do it, because I think we just, all of us together, come up with something much better than any one person ever could.
Well, I'm excited about getting the word out, and you'll have to keep me posted too on what type of responses that we got. Well, appreciate it, Ruth.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Fingers crossed we get some good testers out there for you.
Wonderful. Thank you.